Hi guys, welcome back to Econ Time with SK. So grab your notebooks, your favorite cup of coffee, and let's get started. In this video, we shall be looking at the revenue structure for a competitive firm. So this you've seen before. How do we calculate total revenue, right? So total revenue is of course P times Q. Okay, let's just look at this example. So let's take the example of a dairy farm. So it's producing milk, and it's only one firm which is supplying to the milk market. Okay, so in one firm, let's say it produces up to 8 units, and whatever unit it sells, the price is always going to be 6. Okay, so here we've just calculated the total revenue, which really is 0 times 6 is 0. 1 times 6, 2 times 6, so on and so forth, because you're just multiplying the quantity times the price. Okay, now we come to the interesting stuff, the average revenue. The formula of average always remains the same, right? So what is the formula for average? It is going to be total revenue divided by total quantity. So in this case, what you notice is that it's always the same value. It's always 6. So it's always the price, right? Isn't that interesting? Now, why is that so? Because look at this. Let me write out the formula for average revenue, which is TR by Q, right? Now, TR is nothing, the total revenue is nothing but P times Q divided by Q. So, of course, the Q's get cancelled out, and then this is always true that your average revenue is nothing but the price. This will always hold because of the formula here. Okay, what about the marginal revenue? Well, here we see that this also is the same as price, right? So remember, the marginal revenue is change in TR by change in Q. And so what we are seeing is that every time you sell one more unit, how does your revenue change? It changes by the amount of the price, right? And so it ends up being P. Okay, now let's move on to the graphical analysis. So what's interesting is, because you know what, we found that the AR is always 6, the marginal revenue is always 6, right? The price is 6. And we found out previously that the demand curve actually comes from the firm is a price taker. So actually it takes the market price is given and just can sell everything at that particular price. So it's just this horizontal line. So what is a cute feature of a perfectly competitive firm's demand curve is that the demand is the same as the average revenue, is the same as marginal revenue, is the same as the price. So as we've mentioned here, don't forget this. For a perfectly competitive firm, demand curve is the same as the average revenue curve and the same as the marginal revenue curve. You will see later on that this doesn't hold true when we look at a monopoly or monopolistic competition. So with that, we close our discussion on total revenue and how the average revenue and the marginal revenue are the same curve when it comes to the perfectly competitive firm. So in the next video, we're going to look at the concept of profit maximization. All right, guys, I shall see you in the next video. Take care. Bye.